There is a moment in every relationship that quietly defines everything that follows. It's not when attraction begins. It's not when emotions deepen. It's the moment respect is tested. A dismissive tone. A careless remark. An attitude that crosses an invisible line. Most men react without realizing what's truly at stake. They argue. They defend. They try to regain control. And in doing so, they lose it. Because respect is never created by force. It is revealed by how a man responds under pressure. A strong man does not rush to fix disrespect. He doesn't explode. He doesn't explain himself. He pauses. And in that pause, the entire dynamic shifts. What he does next will determine whether he is seen as reactive or unshakable. Once you understand this moment, you will never handle disrespect the same way again. Welcome to the channel, Stoic Love Wisdom. This is where you will find valuable lessons and tips to help you build a truly lasting love. In today's video, we will explore what do strong men do when women show them a lack of respect, with real stories and insight. Don't miss the advice that can change the way you perceive and live in love. You will definitely feel more comfortable when you find a quiet place and put on your headphones. Let yourself relax and be ready to receive the positive messages in today's video. Are you ready to start this journey? Let's start together. Part 1: The moment a strong man is tested. There is a moment every man faces sooner or later. Not when he is admired. Not when he is desired. But when he is disrespected. A woman rolls her eyes. Her tone sharpens. Her words carry contempt instead of curiosity. And in that moment, the man is revealed. Not by what he says, but by what he refuses to become. Disrespect is not the problem, reaction is. Most men misunderstand disrespect. They think it is something to be fought, corrected, or explained away. So they react. They raise their voice. They defend their ego. They argue their worth. They demand respect. And the moment they do, they lose it. Because respect is never negotiated. It is recognized. A strong man knows this. He understands that disrespect is not an emergency. It is information. Why women test men with attitude. This is not cruelty. It is instinct. Women test to observe. Emotional stability. Self-respect. Boundaries. Inner strength. Attitude is not random. It is a probe. She is watching. Does this man remain centered, or does he collapse? The average man takes it personally. The strong man takes it seriously, but not emotionally. The weak man reacts. The strong man responds. Reaction is impulsive. Response is deliberate. When a man reacts, he hands control to the situation. When he responds, he keeps it. The stoic man pauses. Not because he is confused, but because he is choosing. That pause is powerful. It communicates. You do not control my emotional state. And that alone shifts the dynamic. Why explaining yourself is a form of submission. One of the biggest mistakes men make is trying to explain themselves when disrespected. They justify. They over-clarify. They seek understanding. But explanation, in that moment, signals insecurity. It says, I need you to see me a certain way. The strong man does not need approval to remain composed. He knows who he is. With or without her agreement. Calm is the ultimate boundary. Boundaries are not always spoken. Sometimes they are felt. A calm man who does not engage in disrespect creates a boundary stronger than any argument. He doesn't escalate. He doesn't insult back. He doesn't withdraw emotionally. He simply does not participate. That non-participation sends a clear message. This behavior does not reach me. And behavior that does not get rewarded eventually disappears. Why anger is the shortcut to losing power. Anger feels powerful. But it is not power. It is leakage. The moment a man becomes angry, his emotional center shifts outward. Now she is leading. And he is following. The Stoic man understands. Power is the ability to remain self-governed. He may feel anger. But he does not become it. Self-respect is silent. Strong men do not announce self-respect. They demonstrate it. In posture. In tone. In what they tolerate, and what they don't. When faced with disrespect, the Stoic man does not threaten consequences. He embodies them. And that is far more convincing. Why walking away is sometimes the strongest move. There are moments when silence is enough. And moments when distance is required. A strong man knows the difference. If disrespect continues, he does not argue. He does not beg for change. He does not linger to be diminished. He leaves. Not dramatically. Not emotionally. But decisively. Because staying where you are not respected teaches others how to treat you. The inner standard that never changes. What separates strong men from weak ones is not confidence. It is standards. The Stoic man does not adjust his self-worth based on someone else's mood. His inner standard remains intact, whether admired or challenged. And that consistency is unmistakable. What this means going forward. In the next part, we will go deeper into how strong men read disrespect early. The difference between playful testing and real contempt. And why Stoic men never try to win power struggles. Because strength is not dominance. It is self-mastery under pressure. In love, sometimes we don't need too many promises, but just a little understanding and a heart that knows how to listen. It is the experiences, both happy and sad, that help us mature and know how to love more fully. Here, I want to contemplate those things with you, so that each step in the journey of love becomes more clear-headed and peaceful. If you feel that what I share is valuable, please click like to support this video. And if this is your first visit, please click subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss the next insightful perspectives on love. I also really want to hear from you. What do you like most about today's story? Leave a comment below, because who knows, your experience might be a great source of encouragement for someone else who is listening. And now, let's continue to explore what's waiting for you. Part 2, How Strong Men Recognize Disrespect Before It Escalates. Disrespect rarely arrives loudly. It doesn't begin with insults. It begins with subtle shifts. A change in tone. A lack of courtesy. A dismissal disguised as humor. Weak men notice disrespect only when it explodes. Strong men sense it when it whispers. Disrespect is a pattern, not a single moment. One sharp comment does not define disrespect. But repeated behaviors do. Strong men look for patterns. Interrupted speech. Sarcasm without warmth. Eye-rolling. Selective listening. Conditional politeness. These are not accidents. They are tests. And tests are meant to observe reaction. Why strong men don't argue about intent. When confronted with disrespect, many men say, "She didn't mean it that way." Strong men don't focus on intent. They focus on impact. Intent is invisible. Impact is undeniable. If a behavior diminishes respect, it doesn't matter how it was meant. The Stoic man does not debate feelings. He observes reality. The difference between playful testing and contempt. Not all attitude is disrespect. Some behavior is playful testing. Light teasing. Mild challenge. Flirtatious pushback. This carries warmth. Contempt does not. Contempt removes warmth. It carries superiority. Strong men feel the difference instantly. They don't get defensive. They get alert. Why strong men never over-explain boundaries. Weak men announce boundaries loudly. They threaten consequences. They explain rules. They argue for compliance. Strong men enforce boundaries quietly. They change behavior. They withdraw access. They reduce engagement. And they do it without emotion. Boundaries enforced calmly. Teach faster than boundaries explained emotionally. The role of silence in reading power dynamics. Silence reveals everything. When a strong man pauses, he allows the other person to continue. And what follows often exposes intent. Does she soften? Does she escalate? Does she correct herself? The Stoic man gathers information without rushing to act. That patience gives him leverage. Why emotional neutrality disarms disrespect. Disrespect feeds on reaction. Anger. Defensiveness. Embarrassment. When none of these appear, disrespect loses momentum. The strong man's emotional neutrality creates a vacuum. And in that vacuum, behavior either corrects itself or exposes deeper misalignment. Strong men separate ego from self-respect. Ego reacts. Self-respect observes. A man with ego needs to win. A man with self-respect needs to remain aligned. The Stoic man does not feel diminished by words. He feels informed. And information is power. Why respect must be mutual, not demanded. Respect that is demanded is temporary. Respect that is earned is stable. Strong men never say, "You need to respect me." They act in ways that require it. Calm. Consistency. Boundaries. These qualities do not ask for respect. They generate it. Early detection prevents later conflict. Most power struggles happen because early disrespect was tolerated. Strong men don't wait. They address misalignment early. Not with confrontation, but with adjustment. Less access. Less engagement. Less emotional availability. Behavior adapts. Or the relationship fades. Either way, the strong man remains intact. What this means going forward. In part 3, we'll explore exactly how strong men respond in the moment. What to say. And more importantly, what not to say. And why the strongest response often contains very few words. Because strength is not loud. It is precise. Part 3, how strong men respond in the moment, without losing power. When disrespect shows itself clearly. This is where most men fail. Not because they are weak, but because they react too fast. The strong man does not. He understands that the first response sets the emotional hierarchy. The first rule, do not mirror disrespect. Disrespect invites imitation. Sarcasm invites sarcasm. Anger invites anger. Contempt invites contempt. The weak man mirrors. The strong man refuses. By not matching tone, he breaks the loop. And whoever breaks the loop controls the direction. Why strong men slow everything down. When disrespect appears, the Stoic man slows his speech. He lowers his voice. He shortens his sentences. He pauses. This does two things. It signals self-control. It forces the other person to become aware of their behavior. Speed escalates emotion. Slowness exposes it. What strong men say, and why less is more. Strong men do not lecture. They do not explain emotions. They do not justify boundaries. They use simple, grounded language. Examples. Let's keep this respectful. That tone doesn't work for me. I'm not engaging with that. No insults. No threats. No emotion. Just clarity. And clarity carries authority. Why over-explaining destroys authority? The moment a man explains why he deserves respect, he places himself on trial. Strong men do not argue their worth. They assume it. Their words are not meant to convince. They are meant to define the line. Anything beyond that weakens the signal. The power of non-engagement. Sometimes, the strongest response is silence. Not passive silence. Not avoidance. But intentional non-participation. The Stoic man recognizes. This moment does not deserve my energy. He withdraws attention. And attention is the most valuable currency in any interaction. When attention is removed, disrespect has nowhere to land. Why strong men never threaten consequences? Threats reveal insecurity. A man who says, "If you keep talking like that, I'll leave," is already negotiating. A strong man does not threaten. He acts. If behavior continues, he disengages. He leaves. He reduces access. Without announcement. Behavior learns faster than words. Emotional control is not emotional suppression. Stoic men are often misunderstood. They are not numb. They are not detached. They feel anger. They feel irritation. They feel disappointment. But they do not allow emotion to choose their response. They choose. That choice is strength. Why calm boundaries create immediate respect? When boundaries are delivered calmly, they feel non-negotiable. No anger means no opening. No emotion means no leverage. The other person senses. This is not a debate. And most people adjust immediately. Because chaos loses power. In the presence of calm authority. The difference between assertive and aggressive. Aggression seeks dominance. Assertion maintains alignment. Strong men are assertive. They speak clearly. They hold eye contact. They remain grounded. They do not need to overpower. They simply stand firm. That firmness is felt. Why strong men don't need the last word? Weak men crave closure. They want to win the exchange. Strong men don't care. They care about self-respect, internal alignment, emotional cleanliness. They don't need the final sentence. They need the correct action. And sometimes that action is walking away. Before the conversation finishes. Walking away without drama. When a strong man leaves, he does not storm out. He does not announce his pain. He does not seek reaction. He leaves quietly. Decisively. With dignity. And that departure speaks louder than confrontation ever could. What this teaches the other person. Disrespect thrives where boundaries are emotional. When boundaries are calm, disrespect collapses. The woman learns. What is tolerated? What is not? and who is in control of themselves. That lesson is unforgettable. Love is actually like a mirror reflecting the inner self. When we are calm enough, we will realize that every challenge, every silence carries a valuable lesson. And that is what I want to convey through each story on this channel. If you feel that these shares bring value, please leave a like to support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe, because who knows, one day, just a small idea from these videos can change the way you look at love, at yourself. Let's continue with me, because there are many interesting things waiting for you to discover. Part 4, When Strong Men Choose Distance Over Discussion. There comes a point when words lose value. Not because the message is unclear, but because behavior has spoken louder. A strong man knows when conversation still has purpose, and when it has become negotiation with disrespect. At that moment, he chooses distance. Distance is not punishment, it is alignment. Weak men use distance as punishment. They withdraw to provoke guilt. They disappear to gain leverage. Strong men withdraw for one reason only: misalignment. They are not trying to teach a lesson. They are protecting a standard. And standards are non-negotiable. Why repeated disrespect ends the conversation. The first instance of disrespect may be corrected. The second may be clarified. The third reveals a pattern. Strong men don't wait for a fourth. Because repetition signals comfort. And comfort with disrespect is the real danger. At that point, discussion no longer restores balance. Only distance does. The psychology of walking away. When a strong man creates distance, several things happen. Emotional pressure shifts. Attention is removed. Access is reduced. This forces reflection. Not through fear. Through absence. Absence makes behavior visible. Why absence is more educational than arguments. Arguments invite defense. Defense invites escalation. Absence invites self-observation. Without his presence to react against, she is left with her own behavior. And self-confrontation is uncomfortable, but effective. Strong men do not announce their exit. They don't say, "I'm leaving because you disrespected me." They simply change behavior. Less contact. Less availability. Less emotional investment. No drama. No explanation. Explanation seeks validation. Action communicates certainty. Why silence after distance feels so heavy? Silence from a weak man feels like sulking. Silence from a strong man feels final. Because it's not filled with resentment. It's filled with clarity. He is not waiting to be chased. He is moving forward. That energy is unmistakable. Distance reveals true intentions. When distance appears, true character emerges. She may reflect and adjust. Reach out with humility. Or double down on contempt. Strong men observe without emotion. They don't rush reconciliation. They wait for behavioral change. Words mean nothing without it. Why strong men never chase after disrespect? Chasing after disrespect teaches one thing: that boundaries are flexible under pressure. Strong men never do this. They understand. If someone values access to you, they protect it. And if they don't, your job is not to convince them. It is to remove access. The calm finality of a strong man's distance. Strong men don't disappear impulsively. They withdraw calmly. They close doors quietly. They leave with dignity. This calm finality creates gravity. Because it signals, "I will not abandon myself to keep you." And that message is powerful. Why distance often restores respect. Ironically, distance often restores what arguments destroy. Because it removes the emotional battlefield. Respect returns when chaos ends. Boundaries are felt. Access is no longer guaranteed. Not always. But often enough. And when it doesn't. If respect does not return. The strong man does not negotiate. He does not mourn loudly. He does not seek closure endlessly. He accepts the information. And moves on intact. Part 5. How strong men maintain respect, without ever demanding it. At the end of the day, respect is not won in moments of conflict. It is maintained over time. Strong men understand this. They do not wait for disrespect to appear. Before deciding who they are, they decide first. Respect is a byproduct of self-alignment. A strong man's behavior is consistent. Not because he is rigid, but because he is aligned. His words match his actions. His boundaries match his values. His calm matches his authority. This alignment makes his presence predictable in the best way. People know where he stands. And what happens if they cross the line? No threats required. Why strong men don't keep explaining themselves. Weak men constantly explain their choices. Strong men allow their patterns to speak. They don't justify why they left. Why they reduced contact. Why they changed behavior. Explanation invites debate. Debate invites erosion. The Stoic man lets silence close the argument. Consistency is the ultimate boundary. Anyone can set a boundary once. Strong men maintain it. They don't bend it for attraction. They don't relax it for comfort. They don't abandon it for loneliness. This consistency teaches others. This man is not moved by pressure. And pressure loses its power. Why respect grows when a man is willing to lose. Here's a truth few men accept. You cannot demand respect while being afraid to lose the relationship. Strong men are not reckless. But they are prepared. Prepared to walk away. Prepared to be misunderstood. Prepared to stand alone. That willingness changes the dynamic completely. Because only someone who doesn't need the outcome can hold the standard. The role of purpose beyond relationships. A strong man's identity is not centered on romance. He has work that matters. Discipline that grounds him. Values that guide him. Solitude he is comfortable with. This makes disrespect feel small. Not because he is arrogant. But because his life is bigger than the moment. Why women respect men who respect themselves. This is not about control. It is about reflection. People treat you the way you treat yourself. A man who tolerates disrespect teaches others to offer it. A man who calmly removes himself teaches others restraint. Respect follows clarity. Strength is not loud. It is reliable. Strong men don't posture. They don't intimidate. They don't dramatize. They remain the same man. When admired. When challenged. When dismissed. That reliability creates trust. And trust creates respect. When respect never returns. Sometimes, distance does not restore respect. Strong men accept this without bitterness. They don't chase redemption. They don't demand apologies. They don't rewrite reality. They close the chapter. Not in anger. But in alignment. The quiet authority that lasts. Years later, people remember strong men differently. Not for arguments. Not for dominance. But for how they carried themselves. Calm. clear, unmoved. That memory lingers. Because real strength leaves no emotional debris. Final reflection. A strong man does not ask, "How do I make her respect me?" He asks, "Am I respecting myself consistently?" And once that answer is yes, everything else follows naturally. Closing line for your video. Respect is not something you demand in the moment. It is something you earn by never abandoning yourself. Conclusion. In the end, strength is not revealed when a man is admired. It is revealed when he is challenged. When a woman shows disrespect, a strong man does not rush to correct her. He does not argue his value. He does not react emotionally. He observes. Because he understands one simple truth. Disrespect is not a personal attack, it is a test of standards. Weak men try to win respect in the moment. Strong men protect it over time. They do this by staying aligned with themselves. By remaining calm when provoked. By setting boundaries without hostility. And by walking away without resentment when those boundaries are crossed. A strong man knows that respect cannot be forced, explained, or negotiated. It can only exist where self-respect is consistently lived. He is not afraid to lose attention. He is not afraid to lose connection. He is not afraid to be misunderstood. Because he knows that staying where he is not respected costs far more than walking away ever will. This is the quiet power of Stoic masculinity. Not dominance. Not control. But self-mastery. And that self-mastery changes the dynamic of every relationship he enters. People sense it. They adjust to it. Or they remove themselves from his life. Either way, the strong man remains intact. Because in the end, respect is not something others give you. It is something that naturally follows. A man who never betrays his own standards. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. Hopefully the sharing about love and lessons from this video will help you have new thoughts and find empathy. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share with those around you. Each of us has our own stories about love, and I'm happy to explore them with you. See you in the next videos. Wishing you a wonderful day filled with love.